we always seem to have these airplane stories. And I've got like a trifecta today, I think, 2 or 3. And I really feel bad. This is not a story I'm going to make fun of somebody because this is somebody that had an issue, and you can imagine if this happened to you, how bad this would be. And this is a little gross. This is just like a little bit disgusting. Let me play the air traffic control audio from the pilot as sort of the warm-up here.
Negative. It's just a biohazard issue. We've had a passenger who had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they want us to come back to Atlanta.
Oh my God! That's the pilot speaking to the tower.
Yeah, I thought yes. I thought I would just kind of ease into it.
Yeah, that.
Can I throw in a cha-cha-cha?
Oh, it's exactly what you heard. A Delta Airlines flight from Atlanta to Barcelona, Spain, made a U-turn on Friday night because a passenger had apparently
when you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea,
problem on the airplane.
It sounds like they only had one of those problems.
Yeah, just the last part. Delta Airlines Flight 194 from Atlanta to Barcelona turned around 2 hours over the Atlantic. They left Atlanta 2 hours out. They made a U-turn, went back to Atlanta because a passenger had uncontrollable diarrhea.
Couldn't we have just put them in the stall and let them sit there?
Well, apparently they had such an issue. I think they were running to the bathroom and it exploded all over the aisle.
God!
Listen to the captain. It had to be for you to turn around an Airbus A350 loaded with people from Atlanta to Barcelona for you to turn around. I mean, this must have been a horror scene.
Negative. It's just a biohazard issue. We've had a passenger who had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they want us to come back to Atlanta.
See, if I'm on the ground, what does that mean?
Through the cabin. What do you mean if you're on the ground?
Well, if I'm listening to that, all through the plane, like that.
That's
what
the
does
pilot.
That mean?
The pilot's talking to air traffic control.
Mm-hmm. So I understand that. What I'm saying is that's a shocking statement to hear from a pilot.
A passenger had an explosive,
like walking down the aisle,
or running, and apparently it went all the way down the airplane aisle. Can you imagine that?
It must have exploded like one of those bank bags when they explode with red paint.
So the Airbus is one of those big double-decker planes, right?
No, Airbus. Well, if it's
Airbus 360,
No, I said it was a 350.
Oh, I'm sorry, 380.
The 380 is the double-decker, and it's a hideous airplane. So it's awful looking. Yeah, the Airbus 380 is double-decker.
Okay.
You've got Airbus 319s, 320s, 321s. You got 330s, 340s.
We believe you.
You have the 350. You got the 380.
Okay, Mr.
You got the Airbus 220, which is really a takeover of the Bombardier aircraft.
Okay, aviation, yes. Andy. What is the passenger capacity of an Airbus?
350?
Yeah.
Depending on the configuration, probably, 295 to 395.
All right, I have to look it up now.
I would say 295 to 395, knocking on 400 on the Airbus 3, depending on the configuration.
Okay, depending on happening. All right, according to the Google, it's 300 to 410, so you're exactly right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Now, MJ, this has got to be, the whole plane's got to smell, right?
Yes. Well, that's why they turned around.
I would puke.
They turned around and went back.
How do you not have sympathy sickness?
I would.
Froggy with his loose trigger, right?
Oh, man. Listen, whoever the passenger was.
I'm getting sick just thinking about it.
Froggy, stop.
I'm feeling ill.
Froggy, don't stop it. Don't chase our listeners away.
I can't.
We need all the listeners we can get, all right? Don't chase them away.
I can just, I'm imagining the smell.
So, biohazard, the flight was, the flight turned back.
That's a lot of people.
2 hours in. They went back to Atlanta, and they used the same airplane. A crew came on and did a biohazard scrub. All the passengers were deplaned, and they were delayed like 3 additional hours while the airplane was totally like fumigated and cleaned.
One passenger went to the gift shop and got a new pair of pants.
My God. And then, listen, I hate to be gross here, folks, but I told you it's just plain crazy. The next item here. Oh, speaking of let me go back for a second. God, I was going to talk about this like 3 weeks ago, but I didn't get around to it. But now I guess it's a good time. Michelle was on an airplane from Tampa to, I think she was going to Connecticut. I think she was from Tampa to Bradley in Hartford. And there was a terrible smell in the cabin. A passenger's colostomy bag broke. Yeah, on the airplane.
You want me to yak in here?
Hang on a minute. Let me point the. And again, this is nothing to be joking about.
Right.
When Michelle told me the story, I just felt nothing but horror for the individual.
Yeah.
I felt absolute sympathy, empathy, whatever. I just felt bad. Here you have somebody that has a medical condition, needs a colostomy bag, and it breaks on the airplane. I mean, that's a nightmare. And when Michelle told me the story, I felt awful for the person that it happened to. I'm not just like the A350, the Delta flight with the Delta diarrhea. I mean, that's nothing to poke fun at. That's a terrible story. Obviously, the person had a major issue. And do you think I'm sure they felt awful what they did to the cabin? Making the plane turn around, making them wait 3 hours for a complete fumigation of the cabin?
It is perfect, though, that Delta starts with a D also. You have the alliteration of
That's
Delta.
why I said Delta diarrhea.
I know. I mean, it's better than the Southwest squirts. That's all I got.
The American bleep hole.
Spirit squirts would work.
Spirit squirts, yeah.
Who flies Spirit?
JetBlue doo-doo. I don't know.
Not to be too personal, but has anyone in here ever had an enema?
You know what? What are you doing? No, we're not talking about this. Stop.
I'm just.
No,
what day is today?
We're not. No, I'm moving along. All right. So from the Delta story. What
Because
stop.
I'm trying to think what situations would prompt you to have no bowel control. And that would be one.
Stop.
That only happens on Emirates Airline.
Roxanne, Emirates?
Emirates.
So then we have a story on Air Canada. Listen to this headline. Air Canada passengers kicked off flight for refusing to sit on vomit-covered seats. What? What is going on here? Air Canada passenger says 2 of her fellow travelers were recently escorted off the plane because they refused to sit on vomit-covered seats for a 5-hour flight. Passenger Susan Benson wrote about the incident in a Facebook post on August 29th, according to Fox Business. She explained that before the flight from Las Vegas to Montreal took off, 3 passengers struggled to get seated because of the smell in the cabin. There was a foul smell. Didn't know at first what the problem was, but it turned out that somebody had yacked on those seats during a previous flight, and they wanted passengers to sit on those seats. My God, you probably got to take the seat cushions off and throw them away. I'd rather sit on bare frickin' metal frame than a vomit cushion.
Dude, how do they not walk to the plane and see that?
Well,
when I leave a plane, they're always going from seat to seat and cleaning up stuff.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. You know what? They probably saw it. They probably cleaned it, but you can't get that smell out. Benson said the Air Canada staff attempted to mask the smell with coffee grinds and perfume to no avail. Customers reportedly raised the issue to staff, explaining that their seats were wet and still had visible residue. Oh, my God.
When's the vomit and diarrhea hour end?
It's over right now.
Jeez.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I told you.
Colostomy bags.
I told you I had 3. I told you I had. It was a just plain crazy segment here on the MJ Morning Show.
Just plain stinky.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, yes, Andrew.
Yeah, without describing what happened, the pilot got into it. Pilot comes out and tells them, you have a choice. You can either exit on your own and pay for another flight, or we're going to have you removed from the plane and put you on a no-fly list.
I mean,
that's a lose-lose situation
yeah, it
for
is,
Air
man.
Canada.
What a tough,
That's a good point. Yeah.
tough. Listen. I flew Air Canada several times. We flew Air Canada from Toronto to Haneda in Tokyo. We had a very pleasant time on Air Canada. I thought it was a phenomenal. I would fly Air Canada again.